Alright YouTube, here is my berserker. And this berserker's was actually for a long time giving me a lot of trouble because first berserker I tried to mod, I tried to give a CPVC barrel to, and it didn't go very good at all. I have a little bit of difficulty sometimes getting those really perfect cuts with a hacksaw. One could blame that I have a pretty bad hacksaw, and most of my hacksaws suck anyway, but for one reason or another, it just wasn't working. And I think that like the shots I was able to get off, it just wasn't, like the range wasn't good enough to justify the fact that for some reason the rotational had completely been messed up. So, you know, I kind of like hated these guns for a long time, but after I got a big shipment of Pet Gian from McMaster, highly recommend that you do that. You just go through their website. Great stuff, good website. I mean, almost addictive if you love modding, and all the old timers love it, and I do too now. But anyway, no. Apparently it just fits right through into the barrels. You still have to drill it out with about, I think it was a 9/16 drill bit, spade drill bit, to get some of the pegs out so that it stays in perfectly straight and has a airtight seal. But I mean, it's working, and the only problem I have is that now, because I have a perfect seal on the inside plunger tube and greater compression, you know, I wrapped it up with a little bit of tape so it compresses a little bit further. It actually splits darts right down the middle from the pressure. The pressure, like if I have a streamline, because it's in there really deep, it gets inside the internal peg, and like that big blast of air hits it, and sometimes it just isn't, like the foam isn't strong enough, so it'll just go like it'll just be a rip. The best way to get around this is simply to wrap them up with tape. Like, just wrap up all the darts. If you do this mod, just wrap up all the tips of your darts, or the cores, or anything, mostly the tips so it's a better weighted, with some electrical tape. So it can take higher amounts of pressure stress. And that tape sort of like acts like a bar, sort of, so it'll be able to take more pressure. And it doesn't really hurt to fit at all because it's already pretty loose inside the PET G to begin with. So it actually works fairly good. Like, you actually would think that it wouldn't, but it does. Because you wouldn't think that, because, you know, if you use CPVC, you'll know that if you have tape on your darts, it won't work in CPVC. But anyway, besides that, I also did a new take on Absolver center cannon. For this one, for most of my old cannons, what I used to do is I used to take the internal barrel from gun parts and accessories, like, you know, the extra long barrel that you have on, like, in a long shot or a strike or a raider, like inside the Fox barrel that you get with a recon. I used to take that out, and it would slide perfectly over the black peg that's in there. Of course, I usually just cut off with pipe cutters first so that, you know, it's clear airflow. But anyway, after I would do that thing with the other thing, and then I would nest some CPVC inside of that pipe, and that's how I used to do it. But the problem with that is that that plastic is really weak. So, you know, if I was twisting it too hard, or if someone just hit it with like an elbow or something, or just got caught on something, it would just shear rip right off. So that was a major problem. It happened to maybe 2 or 3 guns, and it was really annoying because it worked very good, but it was just weak. For this one, I used a particular thickness of brass that I just jammed inside of there. Got a good distance. It's a really tight fit, and it's brass. It's really strong. I mean, there's hot glue around the entire outside, hot glue on the inside, linking up the CPVC coupler in. This is really, really strong. It's not gonna fall off or come off, I would think. I mean, if I had any thoughts, I might just add more hot glue to add reinforcement, but that's how it's working. I didn't have the parts I needed at the moment to add a Absolver. I need to go to a hardware store to pick up some CPVC to PVC couplers, so that like I can connect some CPVC to here, connect the CPVC to the PVC coupler to there, and then I can use this bushing over here to fit a 6-round coupler that I can use to shoot shells. You know, Absolver. Or even better yet, with just the PVC, I can take this and I can make a hopper. And I can make a hopper that just goes up like that, holds a lot of rounds, and gives me a lot of singled shots, so I don't have to fuss around with the speed loader. And that's the plan for this blaster. It's not a very conventional war gun, I would imagine, because I have to. This is a pump replacement. The original pump broke, so I just shoved a mag strike pump that I had lying around inside of it. In retrospect, it would have been better if I just drilled a hole inside there and linked the pump like over here. So like just had it mounted up on the side, just go like, so it'd work. But I mean, this thing can take about 20 pumps from that, and it shoots really hard bursts of air. So I'm hoping that with the hopper, like I would have a terrible rate of fire, like maybe one shot every 3 or 4 seconds. But I mean, it would be like over 100 feet. Like it would just decimate people when it actually works. But yeah, I digress. I need to get parts for building the Absolver, and they're pretty much the same parts for building the Hopper Y cannon. But anyway, right now I want to get some shots in, so let's do this. For starters though, I think I'll just pump this thing up. 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Ha! Okay, that was awesome. Let's see if this will actually work here. Okay. No, this thing really doesn't like it. It does not like that thingamajigger. Ah, frick it. Alright, 20 shots. You can see some of them aren't doing very good, because I said before, it likes to cut darts. So, you know, and sometimes there's just not a very good fit on the PET-G. Expected. But when it on average it's shooting about 45 to 55 feet. Very good for HVZ, because it will never jam. It has quick reload, and it's a good weapon combination. The only other thing I want to do to this is give it a better handle. Anyway, that is my berserker. Finally happy with most of the results that I've been working on, and I'm probably going to make a second video if they get the hopper to work and when I get the Absolver to work. That's going to be part 2, is just going through all the cool stuff that I can do with this. Anyway, there we go. It's the video.